SWAT armored vehicles have apparently departed from the Pima County Sheriff's parking lot, and Fox News is being told it is related to the Nancy Guthrie case. We got a lot more info we're going to break down for you regarding it, so here we go. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. We've been live for the past couple hours, summing up a lot of stuff, trying to bring you the latest that's been happening. And this was the biggest news that happened. And sadly, nothing's really come of it yet. I think a lot of people were hoping this might lead to some sort of arrest or something. Big shout out to JLR Investigates, who's been literally 24/7 outside the homes filming this. We've been watching him. He was able to interview a couple of these neighbors that the feds were out there speaking to. This was Lorenzo, one of the neighbors, who basically just revealed that, they were just asking about some of the area and what's going on. They had been here previously, but nothing. And again, lots of these the javelinas, scary pigs that was freaking Jonathan and everybody else out. But not a lot of new information, guys. Obviously, the big information being this new footage that finally dropped that gave us more intel about the suspect or person of I don't even know what they're trying to call this. But as more, these clips have all come together, a lot of debate as to whether this person is a professional, an amateur. Most experts seem to say leaning more of an amateur, but still prepared, clearly came with a purpose, as we were going through it all. But yeah, overall terrifying footage as we went through it. The guy sort of doesn't know what's going on. He's like looking for stuff. If he really prepped, you'd think he would have known better. Instead, he's like looking for shrubbery and then brings said shrubbery to like wipe the camera with. This guy seems like an amateur to me, to be a creepy, terrifying one with a flashlight in his mouth and everything else. We say he, but some people think this could be a woman. Again, we don't know anything. We're still waiting for more information. They've put this out there. Some say they see a mustache. We're really grasping at straws here, even with this footage, which again, Lewis, we're talking, this looks like a boxing glove when it's close up. It's really kind of hard to know what we're looking at. This is kind of the best version we can. And disclaimer, we didn't talk about this earlier. There are some colorized photos being shared. Those aren't real, guys. Be very careful because that's not real. Those are AI, created images that are guessing colors. How do you know that thing is blue? We don't. So don't just assume those color images are the correct ones. Go off of what the FBI is sharing directly. But yeah, overall, not a lot of information, sadly. Nancy's still missing. There is a $50,000 reward, which seems kind of, to be honest, not very large at this point. It is very scary that nothing else is really coming forward. And I got to say, as we were going through today, just watching this sheriff's department and the police, they really feel like they've bumbled it, guys. It's hard to not get more and more frustrated as I've been educating myself more on it. Kim, I want to start with you. I'm getting frustrated. We're literally only canvassing these more specifically all this time later. 8 days later, we're starting to do this. We're starting to get DNA evidence of employees 8 days later. It does feel like they've dropped the ball a bit. What are your thoughts?
I do feel like, I think with any investigation, there's probably things days out you could say, hindsight's 2020 and we could have done better on this. And I know that there are things like warrants that have to be issued for DNA testing and things of that nature. But my goodness, does it feel late to be doing it at this point? I would have expected this to happen last week, last Tuesday, that, they would have been saying, hey, we need to do DNA, we need to get samples of DNA from everybody that was potentially in the home in the last week. We need to get all the family. We need to get everybody who's been close to her. Let's go. Just because it does take time for DNA results to even come back. So I'm surprised that it seems that it's been so delayed.
Lewis, you've been covering this over at Nerd Report. Make sure you guys follow him over at Nerd Report. How are you feeling about this? Are you getting worried? Are you still having faith? FBI is preparing to process as many tips as possible, but they clearly need the tips now. What are your thoughts on how this is all being handled?
With more information, I get even more confused and I have more questions and I feel even more lost. Now, in regards to the professionality of the prowler or the alleged subject, like they're calling it, they only have to be as good as their opponent. Who's their opponent? The sheriff. The sheriff seems very incompetent. So as long as we're 10 days into this, and so far it looks like, even though they want to paint, experts want to paint this person as a non-professional, he's still winning at this point, 10 days after. And it's because The crime scene may have been corrupted. There's no tape. We had the guy today. I think this is actually big news, is having a random person go and deliver a pizza to the front door of Nancy Guthrie, and then the sheriff actually tweet out blaming the press when it was their audience who wanted to feed the press, who's out there giving us information that we're not getting anywhere else, right?
Yeah, and shout out to BJ, surprise witness, with the amazing clap back. We can't believe we have to say this, but media, please do not order food. And she's like, we can't believe we have to say this, but Pim Sheriff, you are responsible for securing the crime scene and not allowing Domino's to walk through your paid throughout your paid watch. And yes, she's right. People can order food. They're doing a very important job. They need to eat. And I think a fan had sent this to Jonathan, one of the people out there. But again, they shouldn't have put the address of the home, but they needed to get it there. It's a mix-up, but I blame the sheriff. I don't blame the pizza guy. Why don't they have tape up? It makes sense. Before I go back to you guys, just to reiterate what you said, Lewis. Yeah, here's Fox News literally walking up to the door of the crime scene, and seeing the blood splatter. Now, and there's a back, unclear, but I guess they're saying that they did what they needed, so now it's not closed. It's not crime scene anymore. But given how little they know, I'm kind of shocked at this. Like that, how quickly, like an Amazon package is there. So an Amazon driver's walking up on the pathway where all the blood splatter is still. You would think you would want to at least put some caution tape up and kept this as an active crime scene while they figure out what's going on. It's hard to believe it's already over, Kim. I mean, does this shock you?
It does. I honestly would love to talk to an expert about this and find out if this is common practice, because to me, I would think the scene of where someone was taken, that you should be making every effort to make sure that that scene is not compromised, because that is where the bulk of your clues are likely going to be, particularly when we know there's DNA evidence that they have collected and they have tested. You never know, right? And now it's compromised. And if the perpetrator is found and there is a trial, they've got an argument here if stuff has been contaminated. And that's a problem. That's a big problem.
100%. Pizza guys, everybody walking through. There's so much DNA now. I mean, granted, I don't know. It's hard to justify this, I'm frustrated by the way a lot of this is handled, especially that sheriff, Lewis. What are your final thoughts here? Do you think we're going to get justice, or do you think this is going to be a cold case?
Yesterday, I thought it was going to be a cold case, but I think today, actually, there's a lot of things going on, but they're not really moving the needle forward. So we get the picture now of the subject. I have no idea who that is. I don't think anyone does, right? And then we get now the door-to-door. Finally, they're looking for DNA samples, supposedly helicopters circling, maybe SWAT team moving in. So is this really giving us more information? I would say right now I'm very confident that the ransom letter thing was a hoax. But that's just my opinion, because of everything that's changed after Savannah's video yesterday, which is the one where it's all clear in image and everything. So I don't know. I think the investigation is now going to move into a home invasion type of thing. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, or it was a ransom that's gone wrong because they've quickly realized, oh, we messed up. Like this week, we're not going to get away with this. As we reported previously, expert John Hubbard seems to think they must have an idea of who this person is, but they clearly don't know where Nancy is. And that's the problem, right? They can't potentially play all their cards until they make sure they've secured Nancy, which is the big priority, bringing her back to safety. So look, FBI, they're all in a tough spot. The public is getting restless because you'd think with all the technology and everything else, they would have done something. And I got to say, seeing this kind of so many people now walking through the active crime scene, even though I know it's 8 days later, I'm sorry, did you do enough of a job? I'm worried you didn't, judging by how you handled all this. So to now know that it's already been, tainted is incredibly frustrating. If I was the Guthries, I'd be livid. But then you can't be, right? Because otherwise then they get mad at you and they don't want to do their job. It's a catch-22. I can't imagine what Savannah and the family are going through as they deal with this. It is heartbreaking, guys, and we'll keep you updated as more information comes forward on this. This is definitely becoming a very scary case. I do want to end with one other sort of thing here. It's interesting because we're all talking about where do these the footage come from? Well, apparently Nest, which is where the camera has, they didn't have a Nest subscription. But apparently the way Nest works, cameras will record to the servers as long as they have internet. So without a subscription, even without a subscription, but usually it's very quickly overwritten by the next image. But if the camera is disconnected, there should be nothing to overwrite on the server. And so as you can sort of look at the front door, I had an image before, I can't find out. It looks like that was removed and disconnected. But by doing so, apparently that's what then sent the last image up to the cloud, which allowed for these images to be saved and kept. So now whether they were really found this morning or last week, I don't know. But it does sound like the person disconnecting the camera ultimately did give them the proof here that it was somebody actually did come to this home. And this is all we have. This is the best look we have. And not a very good look, mind you, but it's a look. And if anybody has any information, please call the FBI with serious information. Don't call 911. Don't order pizzas to the house. Everybody, please be responsible. My goodness. And make sure you support It's Kim and Nerd Report to get all your updates as well. We will keep you privy on this tragic case as more up comes to date, as will the rest of our channel. So please hit that subscribe whether you're watching live or on the replays. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash that thumbs up as well. And stay tuned for any breaking news on this and so much more.